Hey, welcome to Joy in Our Town. I am your host for today, Alan Cardenas, your local pastor in your local community. Welcome. You know what joy is? Joy is so important. I think about joy like, how many of you out there like Lau Lau? I love Lau Lau. But you know what holds the Lau Lau together? It's a tea leaf. Without the tea leaf, the Lau Lau falls apart. That's what joy is like. Without joy, your marriage falls apart. Without joy, your family falls apart. Your ministry fall apart. But more importantly, without joy in your town, your community will fall apart. So we're here to share with you the joy in our town. We have two special guests here that will share you some powerful stories. So would you put your hands together and welcome Lisa and Lori. Good morning. How are you folks doing today?
Good morning, Pastor
Thanks
Allen.
for having us.
We're supposed to be about joy. You guys get a little bit louder and lively than that.
Good morning. How are you doing?
All right, no pressure here today, but again, welcome to Join Our Town. And everybody knows of Lanakila Meals on Wheels, but there's a lot of things that people don't know about that. So we're gonna start off with you, Lori. What is Lanakila Meals on Wheels, and what's the bigger picture of Lanakila?
So Lanakila Meals on Wheels, we're a program of Lanakila Pacific. Lanakila Pacific has actually been in Hawaii since 1939. We started out actually in response to the tuberculosis outbreak at the time, providing rehabilitation services to the community. Since then, we're fortunate there's no more outbreak in Hawaii, and so Lanakila had to evolve. We provide services to individuals with disabilities. We have a number of social enterprises that offer training to folks, including catering, janitorial services, groundskeeping. You can get all of your shirts embroidered at Lanakila and your silk screening done. And again, these are training programs, so helping individuals that are going through vocational rehabilitation. And then, of course, we have Kupuna services, so that's our Meals on Wheels programs. Our Meals on Wheels programs, you know, we started with a lunch cart out in A'ala Park, just trying to feed people. Over time, we evolved to home delivery services. We've been around for 46 years now. And we're the only island-wide program that serves to all communities. And it's just an honor to be able to provide food for people, right? The Meals on Wheels is really designed for individuals that are homebound. It's in order to support individuals that really have a hard time taking care of themselves. When you think about our average meal recipient, she's female. She is 83 years old, Native Hawaiian or Asian ancestry, living on less than $1,000 a month. And so us being able to provide a home-delivered meal to her means that she can continue to remain independent at home, avoid the high cost of assisted living or nursing facilities for as long as possible and age in place.
I'm Dorothy Beckman, aloha, and I'm receiving Meals on Wheels. Right now I live alone. I'm widowed. Only about 3 years ago, well, I have a very good lady. She calls me and let me know she's there, and then call me to take her in. So we get along very nicely. I appreciate the thoughts that the people put in the meals and delivering it to my door. So I thank you very much. And besides, the meals are very nutritious and well cooked. Chicken thigh. It's one piece. So that's a meal.
More than 1,000 Hawaii seniors depend upon Lanakila Meals on Wheels to prepare and deliver nutritious meals to them daily. With hundreds of seniors on the waiting list, our kupuna could really use your help. To get involved, please visit www.lanakilapacific.org lanakila.org or call us at 531-0555.
The other thing we do for our Kupuna, for those that are not homebound, for those that are still active in the community, is our Kupuna Wellness Centers. So at our Kupuna Wellness Centers, we focus on a lifestyle and wellness program. We have things to take care of your physical health. So again, a healthy meal, but also exercise classes, outings, things to keep them physically active. We focus on your cognitive well-being. So we play games, we do crafts to get people getting their creative juices flowing. We do puzzles and memory games and things like that, bring in guest speakers. And then, you know, that emotional well-being that so many people don't think about, right? That being part of a community, that sense of belonging, that socialization, right? So we kind of think of it as a three-legged stool, trying to help people, again, stay active, healthy, independent for as long as possible. And when you can no longer be part of our Kupuna Wellness Centers, then our home delivery program will be there for you.
Wow, so you guys are actually giving life hope and really bringing joy to our local communities and families. And when I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about Jesus. He said that we should take care of our widows. We should be able to love our neighbors. And you guys, in my opinion, is an extension of the hearts and the hands and the feet of Jesus out there. Because people need hope to cope. They need hope to float. Because at that age, it's easy for them to slip into depression. You know, I don't belong anywhere. Nobody cares about me. And you guys are actually delivering more than services, but really life and hope and joy to our towns, right?
When you think about our home delivery folks, you know, when we talk to them, more than 45% of them will say that the meal that we provide is going to be the only food they'll have access to that day.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again.
When you think about our home delivery recipients, right, they will tell us that the food that we provide to them is the only food that they're going to have access to that day. When you think about our home delivery recipients, over half of them will say that the volunteer or the staff that delivers that meal to them might be the only person that they have contact with that day.
Are you serious?
There's a huge need out there for the services we
So
provide.
the only human contact that they will have is when your people go out there to deliver that meal?
For more than half of the people that we provide services to.
Many of our recipients are elderly that live on their own, that may or may not have family that are there to help them, to assist them, which is why they're taking advantage of our services. They're using our program because they're disabled, they have difficulty getting out, they have difficulty accessing resources to even get to the grocery store to buy their food. Maybe they're not able to cook for themselves. So our services helps to provide that for them.
Wow, this is amazing. And you guys have been around since 1939, and at that time to help with the tuberculosis problem. And how can that be? I mean, you guys look like you guys are 16 years old, and this organization has been around for a while. Let's start with you, Lisa. Why did you get involved with Lanakila Meals on Wheels?
Well, Pastor Allen, for the majority of my life, I've worked for nonprofits, mainly with youth and families. And going to Lanakila Meals on Wheels was a switch for me. But I'm not getting it any younger, and our kupuna are not getting any younger. And looking at what Lanakila did and how long they've been around, I thought to myself, that's where I want to grow old. I want to grow old with Lanakila. Working with the program, working with Meals on Wheels, has really opened my eyes to what is out there, to what the needs are of our kupuna. It's a joy to work with them. You know, you talk about joy, and for me, it's a joy to see the joy that we can bring to them, to see them building a community, especially those who maybe don't have family at home. We give them a place to come to in our Kupuna Wellness Centers. We give them something to do. We allow them to interact, to have that socialization that they may not have when they go home. You know, sharing some of our stories. One of my favorites is the woman that I met out in Nanakuli, you know, and I walked up to her while I was doing an outreach and I asked her, what did she do during the week? And she told me, she said, I stay home. And I said, would you be interested in hearing about a program that we have in Waianae? And she said, of course. She said, I'm looking for something. Well, this was on a Saturday. I signed her up. On Monday morning, she called me at 8:30 in the morning and said, I'm getting on the bus and I'm going. Wow. She was in a motorized scooter. She got there that day. She comes every day now. Wow. And every time I see her, she's so full of joy for me and to be there, you know. And I look at that and I think to myself, this is why we're here. This is why we do what we do, because these kupuna in the community need these types of things. They need to be able to have something that gives them that hope, that something that they can go to that promotes health and well-being, that allows them to be independent, to live longer lives, to be able to stay at home longer and out of the care facilities, you know, that are so expensive and for many of them are cost prohibitive on their limited income.
Wow. So for you, being here with this program, this show, Joy in Our Town, it's more than a show. For you, it's a lifestyle. This is a part of you, and you folks do it daily.
Yes, for me, I've done community work for a long time. I want to say for over 35 years. I don't want to age myself, but you know, over 35 years I've done community work. I've worked with nonprofits, social services, and being able to share the program, share what we offer, share the joy that it brings to the community is something that's a lifestyle for me.
And for you personally, it's part of your ministry, right? Personally speaking, not speaking on behalf of Lanakila Meals on Wheels, but this is because I know you've been in youth ministry, so this is part of your everyday ministry, right?
Yes. So for me, even before I came to Lanakila, when I was looking for what the next stage of my life would be, who I would work with. You know, I've worked with youth and youth ministries, I've worked with social services, child welfare, I've worked with families, and it was just a natural step, the next step, to work with our kupuna, to be able to serve them, to be able to minister to them in our community, and to be able to bring a program that really benefits them and helps them to find a place where they belong. We talk about building a community in our Kupuna Wellness Center, and it really is a community there. Our kupuna come, they're able to interact with each other. As Lori mentioned, we have activities, exercises, guest speakers, education. We have been introducing that cultural component and you know, really tapping into our community resources to bring that. And then they share a meal. Awesome. And what better way to socialize and to build a community than over a meal?
Wow.
You know?
What an amazing calling, because I remember meeting you, you're involved in youth ministry, but at this point in life, God really called you to now care for a kupuna. So thank you for sharing. How about you, Lori? You know, why did you get involved with Lanakila Meals on Wheels?
You know, to kind of echo what Lisa said, you know, I think I just saw that there was such a need, you know, when we look at the rate of our community and how we're aging, right? Some estimates will say that that the rate is increasing at a rate of 30% a year, and so the need just continues to increase and grow. I think for me, when I look at our kupuna, I think of how they've given their whole lives to us. You know, they've raised their families, they worked their jobs, they took care of our community, and so really this is their time. And for me, it's just really about making sure that the time that they have left is joy-filled, right? That it's special, and that that really they get to enjoy these last years.
Wow. I'm here in the studio listening to both of you and just chicken skin. And I just thank God that you folks are doing this. I thank God for Lanakila Meals on Wheels. Lisa was able to share, at least one story. Do you have any stories, powerful stories that really stand out from some of the people that you came into contact with at Lanakila Meals on Wheels?
I'm fortunate that there's so many. That there's so many.
Is there one that stands out? One?
I love telling this story that I was at one of our centers one day, and one of our kupuna, she was in her exercise class, and she's just giggling. She's over there, she's giggling through the whole class, right? I just keep looking at her, he. She's just having a blast, right? When she's done, she comes out of the class, and I pull her aside and I say, "Auntie, what's going on? What's the joke? Share it with me, And she says that she can touch her toes, that it's like the first time in forever that she can remember that she can touch her toes again, right? And stories like that let me know that what we're doing is working, right? That at the Kupuna Wellness Centers, we are helping folks to live healthier, to experience wellness, right? That we're really making a difference for folks. I love hearing their stories when they come back from the doctors and they show us their report, and it says, that they're healthier, that they've been in years, and the doctors are asking them, what are you doing differently? And they say that they joined a Kupuna Wellness Center.
Wow.
So it's just really amazing. It's really affirming that what we're doing is making a difference.
Wow. I want to stop and pause. If you're listening to Join a Town, I'm here just amazed at the works that's going on. And I love what Lori had shared. Our kupunas had taken care of the kuleana to care for us, to help us, to raise us up, to take care of our island home. And now it's our time to take care of our kuleana, and that's to take care of our kupunas. So I want to encourage you to go to the Lanakila Meals on Wheels website, and if your heart is still beating after listening to this, go there, contact, because it's a kako thing. When it comes to bringing joy in our town, our communities, our home, Hawaii, they can't do it alone. Get involved. Please go there and get involved, contact them. And it's a powerful thing being here today. I hear powerful things, but with you folks and what you guys are doing, but what are some of the challenges? Is there any challenges that you folks have? Any needs that you folks have? Because you're just two people. I'm sure the one organization is awesome. There's only about 800,000 plus people on the island, and can you folks handle this? And do you folks have any challenges, any needs? Talk to us here today.
So our staff is very small, and our program is really successful because we have so many volunteers from the community that come out to help us. But our kupuna population is not getting any smaller. In fact, it continues to grow every day. And one of our biggest needs is for volunteer drivers, people who are willing to give up a couple of hours a week and help to deliver meals to our homebound seniors. Spend a little time just talking with them, a few minutes. Like Lori had shared earlier, you may be the only person that they see the entire week when you deliver their meals, or that day if they're getting daily meal delivery. Lanakila Meals on Wheels delivers island-wide. So we have a need for drivers in every community. And it's 2 hours a week. It's simple. And it brings so much joy and satisfaction to someone to be able to give to our kupuna. Our other need in our community wellness, our Kupuna Wellness Centers in the community, is for people to share. You've heard us talk about it. You know that we're there. We have Kupuna Wellness Centers in different areas of the island, currently in 5 different areas. But we need assistance in getting the word out, in letting our kupuna know that we're there and what we are and how to get involved with them. We also need volunteers. If you have a special gift or a talent, guest speaking, a guest instructor, coming and sharing, maybe even just music, coming and singing. They love to kanikapila.
Oh, really?
Kanikapila and dance, and then bringing cultural awareness. We've had speakers come in and talk to them about La'au Lapa'au, and it's not even just a speaker, it's more of an interactive, learning from the Kupuna and then sharing their knowledge and really getting to know each other, building that community. So things like that. Really simple, easy, a few hours a week is all it takes.
Wow. And they can go to the website for more information, right? How about from your perspective, is there anything that you see, some challenges from your perspective, anything else that you would like to add?
No, I think I would echo what Lisa said, and to kind of really try to drill that point home, right? For you to come in and be a volunteer driver, which could take a couple hours a week, like Lisa said, right? There's a direct correlation between your time and being able to feed our kupuna, right? Each driver, on average, will deliver meals to 8 people in that 2 hours. And so it's a direct correlation between the number of volunteer drivers we have and the number of people we can feed. And like you said, it's a really easy process. If they're listening or watching right now, you can go to the website. The volunteer application is online, and you can put in all your information to get started.
And so, like, I'm from the west side, I'm from Nanakuli, so I could hook up with you guys because I believe God loves Hawaii, but he lives in Nanakuli. My own opinion.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to help the kupunas in my community. Is that possible as well?
Yes, it is. In fact, our staff go to all the different communities. We have been working in Nanakuli and on the west side, as you know, when I connected with you. We are willing to go and do presentations at your place. Our staff will go out and work with you one-on-one if needed. But as Lori mentioned, it's very easy to apply online on our website, as well as if you want to stop in at one of our Kupuna Wellness Centers in the morning. We have one right at Waianae District Park. They have all the paper applications that you can fill out. We are working with community partners to set up presentations in different communities and have that available. So different communities, just opening it up, having people come, listen to what Lanakila Meals on Wheels is about, what our Kupuna Wellness Center is about, learn more information about what it takes to volunteer, what some of the specific needs are for that community, and then apply right there. Our staff will do applications on the spot. Very simple. We make it as easy as possible. As Lori always tells us, with so many opportunities for volunteers out there, Lanakila wants to give you a reason that you choose us. And we really hope that our volunteers, our long-term volunteers, where they come and their experience is so filled with satisfaction and joy that they continue to come back. I'd actually like to, Lori and I shared some stories of our kupuna, but I'd like to share a story of one of our volunteers. So towards the end of last year, right before Christmas, we received notice that one of our routes was going to lose their volunteer driver, weekly volunteer driver, and it's quite a distance. So for us to send a staff person out to do this one delivery literally takes half a day. And I can say that because I went to do it myself one week to figure out what the routine was. And I thought, okay, I've got to find the volunteer. So I racked my brain, and one of my classmates from high school lives in that near vicinity of that area. So I called her and I asked her if she knew if there was someone out there who'd be willing to do this, who was available. And right away she told me, she said, I'll do it. She goes, what do I need to do? When do you need me to start? So we met up, we went through the volunteer process, gave her all the information, had my phone on standby that very first day, knowing that she'd call me with questions and wanting to be there to guide her through that process. Since it was quite a distance from our office, she couldn't just come into our office to troubleshoot. Her first phone call to me that morning after she picked up the meals was, "Lisa, do you know who this is?" And I said, "No, who is this?" And she said, "That's so-and-so's mom, Auntie so-and-so." And I went, wow. This recipient of Meals on Wheels was her neighbor growing up. Wow. Literally her neighbor growing up, like a Hanai mom to her. I went back into the office and I said, she is never giving that route up because she knows that person on the route. A week later, when I followed up with her, she told me, she said, "I do her last because I sit and I spend time with her and I help her."
Wow.
So you may literally be delivering meals to someone in your community. It might be your next door neighbor. It might be the person down the street. Somebody's mother or father, grandma or grandpa, auntie or uncle. You know, you can serve in your community in that way by delivering meals in your community, like in Lanakila or Waianae.
So it's going back to what you said, Lori. Yeah, it's our kupunas had done taking care of the kuleana to raise us up, to teach us, to pass on the values and so forth. But really, it's a way to pay it forward. And again, it could be our aunties, it could be our teacher, it could be our coach, it could be someone that had planted seeds in our life, and it's a time that we can give back. And I keep thinking, listening to you folks, you know, it's better to give than it is to receive. And I'm sure, yes, the people that receive the services and the meals, they're blessed, but really, I think the biggest blessing are for those who volunteer to get involved. You know, if you're watching this, Joy in Town, it's awesome. I want to encourage all of you to please get involved. Again, remind our people, if they just tuned in, where can they go to get more information?
They can visit the website, lanakilapacific.org. We'd be happy to help them.
You folks who saw this show, please share the good news out there. Encourage everybody to get involved so that we can be a blessing and pay it back to our kupunas that so need your help and your love and your joy out there. Thank you for joining us here in Joy Our Town. We did our best to share with you. Now it's your kuleana to go out there, spread the joy to everyone, everywhere. Again, thank you for joining us. Mahalo.